the reason why I'm really going for this new alkaline diet is because of the way that we have got our nutrition nowadays. I think we've really got it back to front. We now think that having carbohydrates is something that we always had, such a high amount of carbohydrates, and in fact we never did. Our ancestry is purely, that very clearly is a lot of fat, some protein, and vegetables, and really very little in the way of much else. We wouldn't have got much in the way of grains because we would have had to have just picked them wild and then pounded them, let alone, to have made them into bread. It would have been basically impossible. So that's really, really important that we start getting back, because I think our genetics really hasn't had the time to change to such a diet that we have now. And we are basically eating grains first, and I think it's upside down in the pyramid. Alkalizing, I think alkalizing is more important than it was for our ancestors. I think that our ancestors had a much more time just to be, which we don't get to have anymore. And I think just being and breathing deeply and being able to relieve stress through running and hunting was really important. And I think that we don't get that opportunity anymore. We have to sit in front of a computer, or we have to listen to customers who are causing us a lot of grief, and there's nothing much we can do. We can't punch them out and relieve the stress. So I think it's very important, and I think that the minerals that come with an alkaline diet, such as potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium, are very important. Because I think we use them up a lot when we're stressed and when we take foods that we shouldn't eat, such as alcohol. We'll use a lot of magnesium. So yeah, I think it's important that we have more of an alkaline diet, certainly, and that we go more back to our ancestral. Well, I would be just so happy if people have health turnarounds, and I know people do. It's just what happens, and there's so many people now who are actually having health turnarounds with a new way of eating. It's just gonna be getting through that little hurdle of the old addictions.
Well, I'm 70 this year. I'm still working, but I do attribute my health over the last 15 years to alkalising. If there's one single factor I have to say, it's got to be that. The only cold I've had in the last 15 years is when I was travelling in Asia and I couldn't get my alkaline water and my alkaline foods. I feel them come, I feel them try, and I feel them leave. And that's been the same with Cassie. So I'm completely convinced about the ability of regular alkalising to maintain immunity and health. Cassie, of course, has researched it a lot more than me, and I'm very grateful for that, because over the last 4 or 5 years we've gone over to what we like to think of as the new alkaline diet, which incorporates the ancestral diet. And that just makes absolute sense, that if I've been doing the same thing for 30,000 years, to think that if I've changed my diet in the last 100 years, I'm still trying to do it with a 30,000-year-old template. So we've incorporated a lot of that, and that has been fabulous for me. I've had one major health challenge, which is osteoporosis, which staggered me when I found out about it. And the education that Cassie was able to help me with, and what we put into the course, is now something I'm feeling really, really good about passing on. So I guess my justification in getting this course out is we get such a buzz when people just ring up and say, "You changed my life." You can go to work and you can do the same old things every day and do this and do this and sell that. But when people's lives are changed, that makes it worthwhile.